So, in particular, would you say that nowadays you are like a chaos magic practitioner? Like if you had to put yourself in a box, which I mean, if you're a chaos magic, like you know what I mean? Like it's so funny. I'm not like big on these like witch labels where people are,
Yeah.
what kind of witch am I? It's helpful until it's not. Like if it helps you figure out the books to look at and then you can use that as something, that's good. But then don't box yourself in. But in particular with chaos magic, like what led you to chaos magic?
So it was the book Liber Null by Peter J. Carroll. 100%.
Yes.
I read that book and I was like, this is it. This is the book.
Yeah.
But and here's the thing. We're writing a book together. We've been working on it for the last 2 years. And we disagree about a lot of stuff. And getting to know him has been really, really, really interesting because here's like this person who when I read Liber Null, I was so blown away because it was like my thoughts in a book. But then I took it and I kept going in my own direction, and I realized that there's some things where we have disparate beliefs, which is interesting because chaos magic is all about belief. But I believe in a demonstrable, very real spirit realm that's explainable by science, and Peter does not. Peter subscribes to the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics. I subscribe to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. But otherwise, it's the same. So I call what I do chaos witchcraft because I'm not going to say I do the same thing that Peter Carroll does. I'm tremendously inspired by Peter Carroll. And I've been so lucky to get to like ask him questions for the last 2 years. But yeah, my practice is a little bit different. And I think that something that anybody who practices magic long enough will come to understand is that magic and music are very, very similar. So when you're first learning to play a musical instrument, like I play guitar, you're going to learn your box scales and you're going to stay in the box. And the box really helps you. But then as you progress as a musician, you're like, fuck this box. I don't need this box. Right. And then you just play music. And it's the same thing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Cause then you have the foundational skills where you can actually start to jam. Oh, yeah. That is such a great metaphor for that. I love that. That's really exciting. I actually was just like pumping out quotes yesterday from Psychonaut because I'm doing another read through that book. Awesome. And it's, I had the exact same response as you did, where it's reading it and going, okay, so like, how did you crawl in my brain and figure out this like framework that totally speaks to me? But then of course, as all chaos or eclectic or intuitive practitioners do, it's like, wow, I've taken this, I love this, and now it's like become my junk drawer for all these other things. But it really is reading it and the emphasis on things like making sure your belief system isn't too rigid and like having contradiction and all of those things that in our current cultural paradigm, at least on the internet, is kind of demonized and considered to be, oh, you have to have the right opinion all the time and you have to stick to it for the rest of your life. Like, holy fucking kill me, right? So and so brutal. And so it's funny because you can kind of view, even if somebody doesn't identify as a chaos practitioner, you can kind of view where that element of their consciousness is plugged in, where you're like, they get it. They're thinking in that kind of chaos magic way.
Yeah, and it's not too far, at least my practice isn't too far from perennialism, right? Because I do believe in a spirit realm. So I think that there's wisdom in all of religions and all of these mystery traditions. There's at least some nugget of truth in their truth, right? Or something useful to you. And what I think is fantastic about the chaos approach is that it marries perfectly to what I find to be the most effective kind of self-help or self-therapy, right? It's fucking change your beliefs. Like one of the things I have my students do on our first day of class is write down how many negative beliefs do you have about yourself, right? Now, if you can understand that your beliefs are the operating system of your mind, why are you holding on to these negative beliefs about yourself if you know for a fact that they are going to inform your thoughts and your emotions, which inform your actions, which dictate the quality of your life, right? Like you just change the belief.
Yeah.
Change it,
Absolutely. And that's why I think magic is such a phenomenal source of empowerment, because I think people sometimes it's easy to go through life waiting for someone to like give you permission or somehow hand a new belief set or a new belief system on a silver platter to you. And that's not how it works. That's a great way to piss your life away, doing fucking nothing except for complaining or thinking you have no agency or no, you know, your will doesn't matter. And that doesn't help you or anybody in your sphere or the collective or anything. And so, yeah, belief is such a powerful tool, such a powerful tool.
The messed up thing, though, and this is a fact, is that those beliefs are handed to you. You just don't know it because they happened before you turn 7. Between the ages of 0 and 7, you absorb a worldview, and you absorb it through your parents and your surroundings, and you're totally unconscious of it. So it's totally subconscious. But it's built into you. And so to change it is not like the easiest thing. So when I say just change your beliefs, I'm not saying you can just do this on the fly. It takes a lot of practice, right? And so it's a lot like lifting 1,000 pounds. Or it's like, let's say it's like bench pressing 400 pounds. Okay, that's a tremendous goal. I can't do it, but it's not complicated. You just push really hard. And then the next day you push really hard again. And then you push really hard again until you can push that 400 pounds.